So this episode really has dialogue like joy. Wait, joy, like joy to the world, and that's like treated as serious dialogue.
Yeah. Wait, hold
It,
on a
it,
second.
it reminded me of like, I need to become Superman for the quest for peace. Oh, so that's why they call it that from Family Guy.
Oh. Yay. Because I was like, oh, what a dialogue. Maybe imagine in the episode of like the Christmas Carol.
It really is a
That
silent night. Oh, come all ye faithful,
okay, let's
angels we
actually
have heard on high. Like
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Actually, let's do one with like actual Doctor Who episode, like the
Speaking
Michael
of
J.
Jesus, speaking of Jesus Christ, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry
Uh,
Christmas. Hey, imagine
it's going to
yeah.
be a kind of a not a typical pod, kind of shorter, on the shorter side. But yeah, we're
Yeah.
reacting to Doctor Who Christmas special,
Joy
Joy
to
to
the
the World.
what the hey, imagine the Christmas Carol. That's an episode of Doctor Who. Where at the end it was like, oh, Christmas Carol, I get it now. Uh I will just go kill someone.
Not today, not today, not on Christmas.
No, yeah.
Uh,
So
so yeah, so Unity, what's going on? Doctor Who.
Doctor Who newest episode written by Stephen Moffat called Joy to the World. Get it from that song? Yeah, I love that song.
Yeah.
Uh
So as you
uh
said, written by Stephen Moffat, Doctor Who. It's kind of becoming infamous at this point.
yay. Hey.
Non-spoiler thoughts. What'd you think of the episode?
Fucking shit. Very the structure is really bad. It's like
Yeah,
and a lot of time wasted.
I really have like first three seasons of Doc New Who and the one season with season 14 or season one.
Yeah. I
Uh,
mean so
and I didn't really like it.
no, neither do I. I mean everyone hates season one now. Season one, series 14 fucking series 14.
I still hate that. We call it
Yeah.
season one because the Americans don't understand what series is.
No, yeah. That was so fucking bizarre, man. Oh, it's
Honestly, like this is like I didn't want to go too much into like Doctor Who from the season one discussion, but we can briefly do that if you're able to do that.
no, don't
Uh,
worry.
I wish they changed the naming structure, like maybe like because like the earlier seasons were called seasons 1, 2, 3, like from old Who, then you had series 1, 2, 3 for like the new age, and then you have like this new one, but you go right back to season again. It's like, oh, why don't you just call it like volume one or something? Because you have like Mandalorian and stuff like that. I feel like,
book.
or like Stranger Things, something like that.
Yeah,
Chapter one, that could
yeah.
work too.
Book one, like
Book
Avatar.
one, yeah, like Avatar. Yeah, I think this
Yeah.
would have been better. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, do you guys want another connection between this one? I mean, the only connection you need to know is why the Ruby and the Doctor left. Because bullshit, literally. If you yeah, if you watch like at the end of like what's it called, a Sutak episodes like the like I have no idea. Okay, oh, what's like what's it
The
called?
episode title.
Yeah, fuck. I forgot the last episode of the Sutak episode. Fucking
I think the end of something.
no, that's Empire of Death. Yeah, Empire of Death. So in that amazing episode, that apparently Ruby's is just
Living with her mom.
yeah, that her mom apparently her bullshit powers on literally nothing, and it turns out that it's just like her, she's ordinary. So even though she has like a song in her soul or some shit that can literally resist godlike powers, it means nothing. I have no idea how does that work. So yeah, and this episode and that episode concludes with oh the Doctor and Ruby wants to say goodbye because the Doctor
Wants to respect her seeing her mom again after a long time.
That is bullshit reason because you can just visit her once in a while.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty much cuts to Christmas where there is first it starts off with the guest for the episode, Nicola Coughlin.
Yeah, I
Basically,
mean,
she is pretty much your typical loser type of character. Checks into a hotel. She's single. Isn't it obvious? Or some kind of thing. And then on the other side, there's like the doctor has like this whole thing with the pineapple, the pumpkin and latte kind of thing that kind of carries off for like three different time locations. Uh, and what else?
and yeah, it's nothing that worth mentioning. Aside from the fact that it will appear later for bullshit reasons.
Yeah, I guess let's try to like kind of summarize because it's not really that much to really say. The doctor gets caught up in like what is essentially what is called the time hotel, where apparently there's like this hotel in the center of time where like it has like artifacts from things from and like door like gateways to other hotels across the history of time essentially. So I guess it's kind of like your TVA.
But no, it's like, but they're not control time. It's just a stop for people resting, and there's like, and they say it's like the kitchen. It's like 30 minutes.
You can
Okay, the
see
struck
30 you
30
can
minutes before.
know 30 minutes ahead of time what somebody's going to order.
Which my first question should that apply to your security? No, fuck that. Because the entire episode did not give a shit about that anymore. It's just a gag.
Yeah. You had that one guy from Cruella who's kind of like, so it's kind of weird because like the way they set him up is like he kind of has like this kind of like motivation thing, like the doctor is giving, oh, I need to find out because I've been following this person with a briefcase, a very suspicious guy, and it's like, oh, okay, I'll do that. I won't let you down, that kind of stuff. And then it turns out the briefcase guy, he is being possessed by the briefcase. And basically what he does is he hands out the briefcase to somebody else, and then they use that opportunity to latch the wrist cuff to the briefcase of the next person, and then it transfers the soul of the briefcase from person to person. And
Uh,
then once that transfer happens, it kills the previous person. That's
by the
basically
way,
how it works.
we did not get the idea of who organized any of those. It's just like, oh yeah, this is a briefcase.
Yeah, I mean, we learned that this was operated by Villain Guard,
What's
who
Villain Guard?
I learned that they were introduced in Twice Upon a Time.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, do you remember that? I was like, oh yeah, that doesn't tell me anything. They are clearly not the type to just bomb a fucking universe.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I got, because again, I don't have that much Doctor Who knowledge, so you're gonna have to kind of fill the gaps for me. Is
No,
that
actually, Villain Guard is basically in series 14, in Boom, the episode for Landmine.
yeah, because he also said that the Villain Guard is like kind of like the biggest arms thing in the history of the time, basically. So like
So because it's
mass
in series,
weapons kind of a thing.
yeah, series 14, like they organize a war that they shoot each other. Shit, basically that's what it means. They shoot each other. Capitalism. That episode is bad, by the way. I have no idea what does that mean. You can't just shoot each other if there's no army in one side. But yeah, it's like, so Guard's like plan here is to I want to build a fucking star to blow up Earth because reasons. Like literally, it's literally just because reasons.
Yeah, basically caused the Big Bang.
I was like, well, how does that benefit your fucking for your How does it benefit your capitalist money shit? You literally just be able to start to blow up a Earth. I was like, what? How does that benefit you?
Yeah. So apologizing for the unstructuredness of this, because like the episode literally just finished and we're live reacting based on what we saw. So
Yeah.
basically this is happening in the background. The doctor's not aware that people are dying from this briefcase. But then eventually the briefcase man gives it to a bartender. Then the bartender walks up to uh, Benny from Cruella, and then he's like, "Oh, aren't you the guy that has like access to like these kinds of codes and stuff like that?" It's like, yes, I am. And then here, have this briefcase. The doctor said that briefcase is not to be touched. So not suspicious at all. So yeah, he grabs the briefcase and now he has the armband on him, and the bartender dies. Um, then Benny he goes to a Seraphelin, like it's basically a green lizard kind of alien.
Yeah, Cephalon.
A Cephalin, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh, and then brainwashed Benny is like, "Hey, aren't you able to have like access to all these codes and stuff?" It's like, "Yeah, of course I do. I'm the manager." And it's like the dialogue is like so weird because like you're having people ask questions like, "Oh, aren't you the guy who does this?" "Yes, I do because this is my job. Don't you know that?" It's like, so aren't you suspicious as why he's talking like that, or like why he's asking questions like that?
Yeah.
But yeah, then the that
And then
Sarah Fallon gets the briefcase too, and then he's brain controlled. So
and then you just realize the entire time they could just have the first guy just get the manager to get the briefcase.
yeah, and then it's like the weird thing too is like so Benny. So because they set up the fact that like the doctor like wanted him to help him out on this mission, and he even has like a line of dialogue like, "Damn, I failed. Like I failed the mission, or I didn't get to do what he promised," or something like that. So it's like it's weird because like they kind of marinate on that for like maybe like 3-4 minutes, but like I felt like there was a lot more effort into making him a character in that time, where
Then
then we get to our main side character, which is Nicola Kaufman's character Joy.
And by the way,
Which
that fucker just died alone. What
he
the
died.
fuck?
He died alone. The doctor did not know he died, which will be kind of important for later.
Yeah.
So yeah. So the manager alien, he essentially just goes somewhere and then he ends up so basically it's because the doctor he is just going from door to door asking like, "Do you want a latte?" and stuff. So it's like, and then he just suddenly ends up in Joy's hotel room because apparently, so the joke is that usually in a hotel room there's always this locked door that leads to nothing, or like that has like that nobody can open in their hotel room. So it's like, oh, the surprise is that that door leads you to the Time Hotel every Christmas Eve. So that's basically what they were alluding to. I mean, I've never experienced that myself, but
Yeah. So
I get maybe it's a British thing. I don't know.
I have no idea. Even that doesn't apply when you realize, wait, that leads to a tent.
Yeah. But yeah, so the doctor just ends up there, and then the manager comes in afterwards because because the manager sensed that the doctor has like a high level of power that could be useful. So that's what I mean. That at least explains why he was there. But then he ends up with the uh, you know, they end up in Joy's hotel room because Joy is the main side character of the episode.
By the way, if you reverse engineer it, so basically they want to just go to a time where like dinosaurs exist. It's like, okay, so the manager should just go to a dinosaur timeline.
Yes, that's the main thing. And it's like my only thing is like if they wanted the doctor to do it because he has such power, it's like I guess that's one thing, but even then it's like as a manager of somebody who is in charge of the time hotel overall, like that's still a significant amount of power that you don't really need the doctor for. And honestly, you probably would have succeeded in your plan if you weren't chasing after the doctor specifically.
No, and during
Oh,
the
and of
first
course, this episode does like a whole like, oh, we can't use the TARDIS because reason.
uh, uh, because it locked in the time hotel.
Yeah,
Which is
he never uses the TARDIS in this whole episode.
I'm gonna be honest here. If you remember that there's another TARDIS in the on Earth, David Tennant TARDIS. Fucking hell.
Yeah, but they'll never acknowledge that.
Of course they won't. They didn't even acknowledge it when the entire universe died.
Mm.
So yeah, that's and then by the way, do you remember the first thing I said was like hand him the briefcase? What is inside? It was like the first thing I said is use your Sonic to open the briefcase. You fuck.
Yeah. So yeah, basically, so the manager ends up putting so they're basically arguing with each other, the manager and the doctor, and then Nicola is like off to the side because she doesn't understand what's happening. Is like, is this like a men thing? Is this like a gay thing or something? So I don't understand. The dialogue is so weird. And then like eventually she grabs like the briefcase herself, and then she gets locked up with the thing, and then she gets mind controlled by this by the briefcase. The manager is she tells the manager that you need to lie down because you're about to die, and the doctor lets
The
no,
Kokology died. Okay, it's so weird because like the doctor just like actually literally cries that the Slavin died. I was like, you don't know, not Slavin, Savalan died. I was like, what? You don't even know him.
yeah, and it's like I know like the recent season made this doctor like cry a lot, or like that was one of the criticisms at least that he you know, but then obviously people are mixed on that because like, oh, are you saying like men can't be emotional? Like, no, that's not what people are saying. It's just when it happens too often, it's like you kind of reduce the impact of it happening all the time, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
But here's the thing, this is like the worst one because the doctor doesn't even know him, or it's not even like the universe died or something. Just one guy, doctor doesn't even know.
Yeah, and also like because I mean because you explained to me what are the significance of the Seraphins or
Yeah.
from previous Doctor Who episodes, or like at least why them dying would be a big deal to a doctor at least.
Yeah, basically.
Because you're saying like they're a dying race or something.
Yeah, the dying race they live on Earth in like hibernation.
Yeah, but my whole thing too is like, so he's like, "Oh, tell me your story, let it live on," that kind of thing. It's like it's just really weird and like sad music and all that stuff. Uh,
Uh, and
QT Got was doing a very good job. I'm not going to take it away from him, but like some of his dialogue is just like,
and
it's obviously heavily relying on his acting.
yeah, and the fact that we don't even know him, it's like okay, not okay. Here's the thing, there are characters that died in previous Doctor Who episode that we barely know, and the Doctor feels that, but at the same time, there's a world building around it. Like the Doctor feels that the one of the Cybermen died because the Cybermen because in like was like okay in series 2 the Cybermen episode because but the reason why he feels sad is because the like they're forcing people to be like slaves to be Cybermen.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and we know that from that context that they're unwilling and they have a life. So when the doctor just forces to kill one to use it to just save everyone on Earth, he feels bad about it because he has to kill a person to do that, and the person is just an unwanting slave. That's context. And this was like, I don't fucking know. It's like if I saw some person shot in the street, okay, no offense, I won't be like, oh, I might feel sad about it, but I won't like cry.
It's also because Joy just got mind controlled and she's walking away. But then she ends up coming back later because once they die, because they pretty much die like a Thanos blip. And that was pretty sad, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
great.
Oh, it was like
Nice to tell me that was sad.
Yeah, I mean they should just have the Cruella guy died here.
Because it's funny because he has less screen time, yet for some reason his 3 to 4 minutes and him dying just makes more sense in terms of why he should have been the main side character to die that you actually feel the emotion for. And
Yeah, I mean,
because ultimately Joy is the main side character, but I feel like she has less characterization.
no, because she doesn't have a motivation. She just have one motivation, and the other scene is like, oh, I'm gonna commit suicide. I was like, why? I don't know.
Yeah,
To save the.
so basically, before we get to that, she ends up there, and then so she comes back to the doctor instead of running away and going to the dinosaur time. So the doctor has time to think about why did you come back, or why is that briefcase so important and stuff like that. So he pulls the briefcase out of her hand, and that doesn't mind control him. So I guess the rule is the briefcase has to be handed to the person willingly by the host, giving it to a secondary person, and it can't be stolen off guard or something like that. Because the doctor was not mind controlled by this.
But
And
and then you just realize one thing. If there's more than one person in the room, they could easily just realize something is off, which is what happened with the hotel manager. If there's more than one person in the room, they will immediately just take over the suitcase. When they find out that the handcuff just telekinetically locked to the other person in midair.
Yeah, basically, if you touch the handle or it'll lock onto the next person, basically the handcuff. But I guess because the doctor physically took it out of her hand and she didn't hand it to him, that's why it's not mind controlling him. It's just super convenient. That's how it works. And then he unlocks the suitcase.
By the way, by hand, so it doesn't.
By
He doesn't
hand,
even, so
which he has a tonic.
Was like, wait, so this isn't even locked? What the fuck?
Yeah, he unlocks it, then a bomb starts to detonate or starts to count down. The Joy is saying, close it, close it, close it. Is why? Is she can't explain it because you don't even know what it's for. Why are you telling me to close it? And then she eventually does close it right before the timer hits to 0. Oh, okay. And then what was it? Then I remember he pulls out the Sonic right after or something.
No, he didn't. It's there's a lock appear in front of it, just here's 15 seconds to know the password. I was like, who can know the password?
And then all of a sudden, somebody opens the door, and it's a doctor.
Oh, by the way,
the doctor, the same one.
Yeah.
From the future, he's like 7412. Okay, 7412. What's the passcode? And then it the thing is, how'd you know the password? Then the future doctor, he pulls out Joy and is you're gonna have to figure that out yourself. You're gonna take the long way.
Okay.
What does that mean? It's this is why people hate you. It's because and you always end up alone because people don't like how you are so cryptic and all that stuff. And so he's basically berating himself. So yeah, basically there's two QTs in the scene basically.
But so here's the thing. That's out of nowhere. I was like, well, what the fuck?
I was wondering. I thought doctors weren't allowed to interact with each other like that.
you can, but at the same time, you just forgot about you interact with each other. Time Lord rules. You can, but at the same
Timey
time,
wimey wibbly wobbly bullshit.
and yeah, but at the same time, he can't just like, oh, I can't use the TARDIS because Paradox was like, this is Paradox, you fuck. Okay, the explanation is this can afford a Paradox. I was like, what does that mean?
Yeah. So basically, he sees the Christmas card, and then he sees that the Christmas card is dated for Christmas Eve of 2025. He tries to open the Time Hotel door, and it's a brick wall. So when he looks back at the time card, he realizes that he has to stay in this hotel for another year in order to get access to the Time Hotel again.
So my
So he
yeah,
goes down to, the checking booth and says, I want to be here for a year. I'll even work for you so that I can have the money to pay for it.
so
And yeah,
my first question is, so this entire thing can be avoided if the Doctor just sonic the lock.
yeah, unless it's like a passcode kind of a thing that you can't bypass or something, but they didn't try that, so I wouldn't
the
know.
and and remember at the very end of the episode, the Doctor literally just hack it with the Sonic.
Yes, that's it's funny.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, you can just do
Yeah,
that.
so basically for the next half hour, or 20 minutes, so the doctor is just pretty much living a normal human life, living a 9 to 5 at this hotel with with the hotel manager Anita, and they basically just grow a friendship in this 1 year together.
What do you learn about in this? What do you learn in 10 minutes of this episode? Of with him and the hotel manager. That
So he doesn't like to be lonely, but that's we already know that. And then Anita is kind of like lonely herself, or like she feels like she pushes, like she has people like always push away from her, stuff like that. Um, I will say, like, to be honest, it's very, I like when I saw the scenes, it's like I know that these are going to be scenes clipped up on Twitter saying, like, oh, this is so good writing, or it's like it's so well acted, or stuff like that, because it is done very well. But I'm just like, my first question is just like, this side character who's not even like not even considered to be in the main characters is like getting so much screen time with the Doctor, which was really surprising to me because I really thought that Nicola would have more of a role in the episode because she's the special guest
no,
star.
I mean, I think she has like the least character aside from the lizard guy.
Yeah. So basically, they're just like becoming friends and all that stuff. They hang out all the time and they like playing games together. And the Doctor is like, trying to remember his like keep true to who he is as the Doctor and like all the stuff he collects, but he also wants to make sure that Anita is like feeling good and all that. So then once it comes to Christmas Eve of 2025, then he's getting ready to leave. Um, but
And
which
yeah, the
they
manager does yeah.
conversation about like how you know
So the manager doesn't even have like any relevance to the plot. It's just like here's a scene, 10 minutes done.
no, it's like I get what it's for. It's just to like give him like a human companion ish, not like companion Doctor Who companion wise, but like just somebody to be with and like
But
have a good time with and all that stuff. But then it's like you feel kind of sad that they're gonna have to depart now, or it's like this whole life he had for a whole year is gonna go away because he's go back on business or stuff like that. They have like a nice hug and all that stuff. Uh, but yeah, it's just kind of tough because like again, like I just felt like none of it was earned.
no, and then it doesn't really affect anything when it comes to the Doctor's character in the rest of the episode. I mean, the hotel manager changes Anita, but it's like she doesn't really even have plot relevance.
Yeah, it really is just to fill some time. for the 1 year of staying together. It's like, yeah, I guess like having a friendship together for a whole year here, it's gonna be a lot being
I
together
would,
for a whole year.
when I saw this, I was like, okay, just replace the hotel manager with like Nicole Cottager, and then you actually got to learn about her for 10 minutes.
Yeah, but the problem is that Nicola's issue is that she is a plot device, and that's like the point of her character. Because once we get to the part where like, okay, so now the doctor it's now Christmas Eve 2025. He's back into the Time Hotel now since it's opened up again. He's there. And then
they're like, okay, here's the password. Low.
yeah, well, so first off, it's been a year, and so Nicola still has access to the suitcase in 1 year for some reason. And oh right, we forgot the connecting part. So the connecting part is that the doctor was waiting for that 2025 date. It was 2025, and then he opens the door, and then he sees that he's on the other side of 2024 doctor now. So now the current doctor is now the future doctor, and he's talking to past doctor that the code is 7124 or 7421, whatever. And then like, how did you know the code? It's like, oh, you're gonna have to take the long way. He looks at the chair because now we know that with Anita he made friends with her, the chair day kind of stuff.
And then like yeah, and then it's like,
And
oh, you're
then
lonely. Fuck you.
yeah, and then Nicola is like asking, "How did you know that code?" It's because of a bootstrap paradox. I remembered the passcode from the last time I had heard it. So basically, now whenever a doctor is here, they're always going to tell the past doctor of this, and it's like the problem with the bootstrap paradox is like, okay, so where did the original code come from? 7412. It's like I don't know. That won't be explained, but like
Yeah, so that's actually they actually have a two-parter episode dedicated in Doctor Who that is about bootstrap paradox, but like that is actually well explained instead of just like, oh, everything just an ass pool. But and like yeah, okay, I guess. And what's the point of bootstrap paradox? 10 minutes of filler. That's it. They
yeah.
explain that mechanic.
Yeah, so that's the explanation, and we move on. So yeah, Nicola. So I guess technically it's like, okay, she didn't have the suitcase for a year. It's just like it just feels like that because we had to wait for the doctor to go through 2025 and be in the present, and then that's how. So basically, like she wasn't mind controlled for a whole year and nothing happened. It was just like it just feels like that. Uh because of bootstrap paradox, which is a
Yeah.
little confusing, but
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, it's kind of like that. Um,
And oh yeah, by the
so
way, the door just right next the door that the doctor enters just right next to the other door. I was like, okay, that was convenient.
yeah, and then so they kind of have a conversation because she's only speaking through the briefcase. Because like her personality was getting like kind of angry, so she's back to like her normal self ish, but then she goes back to talking like a brainwashed person. So then the doctor notices that. So he takes that opportunity when they're in the elevator of are you why were you in that hotel, that sad, pathetic hotel? Because you don't want to be seen. Because like like a house, you want to show how fancy things are, but when you go to a hotel, you're kind of shows how much of a loser you are, and you don't want people to know and all that stuff. Which is like, first off, that's I know. So yes, I know that the whole point of that scene is to rile her up, to make her angry and make her upset and stuff like that, to make her cry. But like that's just to detach her from the brainwash. One, it's like very lucky that the brainwash can be detached like that easily. But even if I ignore that, it's like people go to hotels for sometimes they want to be not seen or they want to be left alone and stuff like that. So yeah, that can happen. But sometimes people go to hotels because they are tired and they can't go home, or they're far away and they can't go home, or
They're just in a trip. They're just like,
they're on
oh,
a
I'm
trip. It's
yeah.
like, yeah,
Or if that or do you, or you don't or that person doesn't even have family or that her family passed away.
yeah, or maybe she had a flood in her house and she has to live in a hotel for the next few days so that the repair people can like fix it up. Sometimes things that happen, but it's like it's just the reason why I bring it up is because like at the end of the episode, it's like, yeah, it was true. Whatever you said, all of it was true. Yeah, I was a pathetic loser who had no business of being anywhere. I had
But
no purpose in life and all that stuff. And it's like, wow, it's
uh,
just 1 to 1, I guess.
well, it's literally because this entire thing is just in one scene because we only have one scene to understand, like to just set up Nicole College, and then we just like, hey, okay, fuck, we need to speed run her, hear everything.
Yeah, so this is like so again that whole like Anita stuff and the hotel stuff that was like the 30-minute mark. There's still 20 minutes left of the episode.
Yeah, when I was literally paused the episode. I was like, okay, how long is this episode? How long do we use that? I was like, fucking hell, 30 minutes already.
Yeah.
And
The prioritization is like really off. But yeah, so basically he gets to a point where, because like, Joy is like walking out, like she's not really happy about what she's hearing. She ends up through a door, which takes them to like outside.
the dinosaurs.
We don't know that yet at this time, but like, so yeah, he continues to pester about like, yeah, it's like about being a loser and stuff like that, and then basically it gets to a point where Joy is so upset that she drops the suitcase. She doesn't even realize she did that. She drops the suitcase and goes to the doctor, hits him. It's
And
like fuck you, kind of a
and
stuff. Like you, the reason why I live in a hotel is because like I can't stand to be at my house for Christmas because that one time because my mother died on Christmas Eve and I couldn't even give her any justice or anything like that, or like I couldn't prove myself. I haven't done anything in my life or anything like that. So it's like, basically explaining as to why she was in
I
a hotel on Christmas
I don't
Eve.
even notice that what she said because all she said is because the rules make my mom died.
Yeah, it's like I couldn't even see my mom die. The only time I got to see her was through an iPad and stuff like that. So, it's like essentially it's a it's so difficult because like when I saw the scene, it's like, my God, I know people are gonna eat this scene up because Nicola and Yuti are doing such a great job in the scene, but I am so baffled as to like how we get to this point because like
And
he says he's talking shit, which happens to be true, even though you could easily disprove that is like anybody could be in a hotel for any other reason that other than the one that you just said, but he's completely right for that reason. And then two, it's like, yeah, well, I'm there because my mom died, and I feel ashamed to be at my house on Christmas Eve. That's why I refuse to be at home whenever that is. So that's why I live in a hotel on that day.
uh, my question would be like, oh, can't you just go to your friend's house or something?
I mean,
Yeah,
even if I could be fine with that. Like again, because like it's a serious topic. How people process their death and their logic and all that stuff. So like, I'm okay with it. It's just like I feel like making a narrative importance to something like why are you in a hotel on Christmas Eve? It's like kind of weird. Like
no. This is, by the way, this is like her second scene.
this is her second scene. That's my issue too. It's like because like it's weird because like, she has more screen time than Benny, but I felt like Benny has more character in 3 minutes, which is it's really bizarre.
No, because we know that Benny is like, oh, she's like working lower class work for in this hotel, so it's like she wants to prove himself that he can do a lot more. So when he gave her that opportunity, he just tried. It was like, oh, that's actually motivation. And what is Nicole College's motivation?
She's just a loser and she wants to prove herself, but she doesn't know how to. And like this magical briefcase that happened upon her, which wasn't meant for her because the manager was trying to give it to the doctor, is now the thing that gives her purpose in life. It's
What?
it's really so she's a MacGuffin basically.
No, yeah, no, she just have motivation at the very end. to show
Yeah.
up upon her. And by the
Yeah.
way, yeah, my
So
God.
the doctor uses that time because he knows he really upset Joy. And
Oh,
like he's using that opportunity to explain why that, you know, you got why did I say all those terrible things? It's because like I wanted you to get away from that briefcase, which now they realize that the briefcase is far away, not in her hand. So she's definitely out of the control now. It's like, obviously feeling bad for what he said because it is like a terrible thing to say. And
so
like, you
yeah,
know,
it's
why was it
terrible.
necessary? That kind of thing.
It's like good in isolation, and then you just realize this is like her second scene.
Yeah. And basically he goes to the briefcase, uses a sonic, and then like sees that there's a hologram for Villain Guard, and then apparently there's like this hologram on this Villain Guard thing, which they were able to recognize was the manager, his voice, and he was talking about how they have this plan that's going to be pretty cataclysmic in destruction.
Was like, how does that benefit you for money? Fuck you.
And the doctor's saying like, it's impossible for you to like be able to do something like this because you would have to, because like if you ever go back in the past, like it's never going to be enough time to cause that kind of boom. You would have to go back 65 million years ago for that boom to even work theoretically, which then all of a sudden, as he says, 65 million years, a T-Rex just shows up.
Jesus Christ.
And
I was like,
so my first question is like, wow, so they considered this as a hotel in 65 million years ago. I
okay,
don't. People weren't around in that time.
yeah. Uh, it was like they just have that whole. I just assumed that. I was like, oh, I guess you just have that because people just want to see the dinosaurs. I guess. But and then you just realize, wait, what if that's the case? Why did the dinosaur can just attack this area easily? And then you just realize, wait, how the fuck did Nicole Cottage knows? How did they even enter this room? If the hotel manager doesn't even know this room, can't even go to this room. How does this person who never been in the time hotel know this room?
It's not just that. It's just like so like so the location is like pretty much like a hut. Like it's like an outdoor sort of type of like a patio kind of a thing, but like like it has like a floorboard. It has some furniture here and there, and it has things like that. But it's like people didn't live in this time, like humans and dinosaurs. I know like you see a lot of cartoons, they like to do that, but like no, they didn't exist at the time. It's just like how did you get that from 65 million years ago? A hotel from 65 million years ago, unless somebody went all the way back in time. I wanted to build a hotel here for some reason, and then just like okay, so I guess this counts as a hotel for the time hotel to link up to. That didn't make any sense to me. They just wanted the
No,
dinosaur
no, because this is like
through
a
the
lot.
roar.
Here's the thing. They literally have to be like, oh fuck, we barely develop a script. It's like here's a bunch of contrivances, and they just realize how did the character know this place? How does Joy know this place? And then they're just like, oh, how did the dinosaur even? And the dinosaur just conveniently just eat the briefcase for no reason.
Yeah. So yeah, now the dinosaur is infected by the briefcase, and now it has like the power of being mind controlled and all that stuff, which doesn't really do anything because like Joy and the doctor they go back through the door, which lucky that it didn't seal up as a brick wall.
Yeah,
Uh,
no.
but yeah, so they have this conversation about how is it that like this is happening 65 million years ago. That's bad, right? Yeah, that's really bad. But then like they hear that his sonic is like buzzing, and
And then the doctor
he
was like,
opens up
of course I'm
the
buzzing. I was like, no, of course your phone is buzzing. Like, how do you mistaking your own buzzing than your
it's
fuck sonic
no
buzzing?
it's a dick joke.
Jesus.
It's a dick joke, yeah. Uh yeah, so he pulls out the sonic and then he sees that there is a hologram coming out and it's Benny. Uh Is like, I told you, sir, I wouldn't let you down, even though it's been like 85 like million years later in the future. Basically, he's explaining that all these souls that were like infected by the Villain Guard briefcase, they get like downloaded into like Villain Guard's like database, so their souls will like live forever in like over there, uh, and all that stuff. But he's basically kind of like being your AI companion, as to like this is how you can like do it. Um, so it turns out that once the dinosaur died, the briefcase was like stored away in like this particular year. So they go to that year in particular, go through that time door, and they see that there is a latch of where the briefcase is inside, and it's mainly because so apparently like the people saw that briefcase and thought it was like divine god power, so they treated it like a religion, kind of a shrine kind of a thing.
Oh my! There's a door there for some reason. Oh well.
Yeah, so they need but it's like so that you only have 4.5 minutes left to until the bomb explodes. Uh,
Oh, it's so because at this point they're just rushing the entire plot. It's like, okay, this guy can just hack the system. Which I'm gonna be honest, that's what they did. That's what they fucking said in Boom. They just like, by the way, any AI can just hack the system. It's like, oh my god,
I need to hack the mainframe,
yeah. I
reboot
was
the
like,
binaries.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
They just like I hacked it, and then what?
So yeah, then basically the doctor like basically goes back to all those like previous timelines, like where he was like talking to different people, and like he took like the some rope and then put it through like other people other times, like so basically he's taking a giant rope and he's dragging it across different rooms of different time periods. So some in
How?
like in the 1800s, some in the 1900s, in the early 2000s, something like that. So it's like he's pulling the rope all the way through there. Then through the train, he like drops the anchor, which pulls the entire. So it's really hard to explain, but basically, like the rope is like long enough to go through different periods of time, and like to have enough force to like pull out the door of the briefcase.
Uh,
Merry Christmas, Rungi.
Merry Christmas. What a yeah. I hope you enjoy it. We just finished the episode. We're talking it right now. Uh, yeah, we're enjoying Christmas. Yeah, totally. This episode is not breaking our brains. Uh,
Okay,
by the way,
we really need to end the
yeah. By the way, I'm just gonna
podcast soon.
mention.
I have a call.
So I'm just gonna mention this thing that breaks the entire story. Philogos can just afford all this shit if they just send a guy, just hire a guy, just put a briefcase and put it in dinosaur period. Done. They don't have to go through every single one of those bullshit.
Yeah, so then Joy sees the once like the thing opens up, she sees the down she sees the bomb is basically like it's like calm or something like that. So she has a feeling that like, oh, don't worry, I'm not going to destroy you, that kind of thing. And then the doctor comes back, sees that Joy is not there, and realizes that there are staircases that goes up from the shrine. So he
Jesus.
goes up the stairs, and then he sees that Joy has the light in her heart, and then she's saying that this is good. I I realize that like I can take this star bound thing and then become a new star to bring new hope and new kind of thing, like stuff like that. Uh, but the doctor's like, "Oh, you're gonna die." No, I'm gonna make something better, something like that. And then she like changes like her appearance to look like the different people of Villain Guard, that like basically the manager, Benny, other people who have been infected by the briefcase, but like that's love, hope, and positivity stuff. And I felt nothing because
Nothing.
I it did not feel earn issues. And then this is the part where she says, everything you said about me and the hotel is true, but you still lived there for a whole year anyway. Yeah, and it was a great time. Even then, it's like it's just
It's
there's
hollow.
not. It's so hollow.
I was like, yeah, because like remember, Nicole College is like, oh, this should be like something really traumatic if someone points to you, and it's like, okay, I resolved this off screen. I'm gonna kill myself now. I was like, wait, and then my first question would be like, how do you know that you could just? It's not gonna bomb, even if you hold it, it's not gonna bomb you immediately. You have no idea how this works. You have no idea it would just shoot to the sky.
Okay, we really need to end the call.
Jesus. Oh, okay, I'm gonna wrap it up. It's like, okay, fuck this. Stephen Moffat said, I was like, oh, this is gonna be really sad. I was like, okay, Nicole, Joy's gonna die. Yeah, she died. I was like, and then done. That's the episode. It's basically, and then we just got the doctor just bullshit ourselves. Like, oh, joy to the world.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
So
Fuck you. And also the fact that oh yeah, we got Millie Gibson cameo.
Yeah, she was like there for like a second. She sees the star. Everybody across different timelines is seeing the star.
What the fuck?
Bringing like a lot of hope and stuff like that. Millie is talking to her mom on the phone, but that's pretty much the extent of her scene.
And then Philip is, yeah, that's it's.
And then it also has a part where like her mom back in 2020 is like, so not her mom, but like Joy's mom is like in 2020 seeing the iPad, and then like she sees the star on the window and knows that's like Joy, and then her life force is also like getting drained out like Thanos. And yeah, so
I don't understand what's happening.
her mother's soul gets like transported like that.
And it's like, this should be like really traumatic if you've seen like series 9 of Doctor Who, no, series 8 of Doctor Who. I was like, this is portrayed as positive for some reason. I was like, motherfucker, Stephen Moffat, you wrote that episode. How do you not know this should be traumatic? And the fact that the story is like across time for some reason.
So multiple timelines,
yeah. It's like, it's because it bombed in one timeline at once. It's like, this is so weird. And I was like, and Joy just killed herself for no reason. I was like, oh, I can do something. I was like, no. I mean, I was literally just like, okay, I think the Doctor can just TARDIS it away.
Yeah, but the TARDIS is like decommissioned.
No, it's just in the ground floor, but yeah. It's so because like, yeah, that's it. That's Joy. I was like, Stephen Moffat. So do I feel sad about Joy dying? I was like, no. You did that. You did that once. You did that twice already. I've seen 2 one-off companions die in Christmas special. I know how that works. You fuck. And then it's like, oh, then you just expect me to just feel bad of this non-character dying. I was like, I feel more when Benny died. For fuck's sake.
Yeah. Okay. And we really need to wrap up.
Yeah. So yeah, bad episode. Stephen Moffat has to go back to write again. I have no idea. He's not as good as he used to be. And also, we've seen the trailer for the next series. It's just Star Wars references. Fuck you.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, I had something for work on Christmas Day. It's really annoying, but I can't really get past it. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Bad episode, and see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.